Test, 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 test. We've got voice, we've got video. Hello, everybody. Felix Doval. I am re-recording the webinar that we had last week, personal training tips, how to do virtual training at home. We went through it. For some reason, my Zoom meeting platform did not record this. I most probably forgot to press a record button, and a lot of you are asking for this. So I'm going to sit here again and re-record this for everybody to be able to, to really take the most out of this and get this going and really help your clients get in great shape. So once again, what we're going to do here today is focusing on what's happening around the world. We've all just, all of a sudden, from one day to the other, we're at home. We're not being able to get out and do the things that we generally do with our clients. And what I want to start with, same thing I started with last week, was a very, very important question to consider right now, especially in these times, is what does it mean to be a certified personal trainer? I mean, what does that really mean to you? And these are the common answers I get. Well, the personal trainer is there to count reps, and stand beside somebody. We're there to correct form and technique. We're there to spot. We're there to stretch a client perhaps after a workout if we have those skills. And, then of course, let's not leave nutrition out. We've got to, give clients the correct advice on what their healthiest habits are going to be based on their goals and other issues that we may identify along the way through an assessment. But this is what I like to focus on, what we really looked at right now. And let's see if I can get my my pen to work here so I can make some notes on here while we're in here together. Okay, what we really focused on with what I was saying right there was training. Everything we looked on those previous slides was focused on training, that one-on-one, that you're out there in the club or in the client's home, or maybe they're coming to your location and we've got that physical contact with them, team. But what about everything else around this cloud? And this is what I love to consider when I'm asked, what is personal training? It's being all of these things that are around this cloud. And one big word for that is we're mentors. The people that we train look at us for advice on everything. Sometimes they actually think we're psychologists, which is, way beyond our field of practice and scope, but we do the best we can. So we motivate people, we give them advice, we help them be successful, we give them directions, when they're not being able to meet their goals, we coach them, we support them, and of course that ultimate reaching of the goal is what we're here to do. And a lot of times that does not take place when we're in that one-on-one actual physical training session with them. It takes place the other 24 hours of the day when they send you a text message and they're at that grocery store wondering, what to buy that's going to be best for their goal. When they're feeling down and they're thinking about not coming to the workout session and they give you a call. Those are the things that as personal trainers, we really need to capitalize and focus on right now. Okay, this is what's happened to the world. We've been slammed since mid-March, all of a sudden, everything shut down, and we've been told to stay at home. So let me get rid of my pointer here. Stop this guy. Let's get back home here. Let's go to the next slide. And all of a sudden, this is what we're faced with. This is what we're looking at. COVID-19 all of a sudden spreads throughout the world. Every health club in the world closes their doors. And I mean, just look at the bullet points on here. We're in a pretty pickle here because nobody was expecting this. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, what do we do here? So let me erase this guy off of here really quick so it's not coming up on all the other slides. And let's look at our position. Even those that have gyms at home, from all the feedback I've been getting from all the trainers that I've trained and I work with year round are telling their trainer, hey, you know what, let's don't even come and train me at home. Let's really get this virus nipped, and try to do the best efforts of all of us, to get rid of it. So this has really thrown a pickle at everybody, because unless you've stepped outside the box already and you've educated yourself or you've gotten yourself involved with training somebody over an iPhone through social media apps, through Zoom apps, through FaceTime or whatever it is, then this is a whole new area for the world. And that's why we wanted to take this time, with this presentation and talk about it, give everybody a little bit of advice. So next on this slide here, I want to go ahead and give thanks to Angie, our director of certification. Obviously, she spoke to everybody last week when we were doing this live. She's not with me now in this presentation, but she put this page together for us. It's on nfpt.com/coronavirus update, and it gives all of us, tips that at this point, through all these weeks of the progression of this virus and stay home orders and so forth, pretty much everybody should have all this down packed. How to get help, how to file for a payment protection program, how to file if you're self-employed and you get a 1099, how to use all those tools. If you have a corporation, send in your paperwork. They will send you. I personally today, not last week, I woke up this morning and when I went into our bank account today here at the workshop department, I had already received an advance for the economic injury and disaster loan program that we applied for as soon as this thing happened in March. So yeah, it took, 3.5 weeks, to see it progress. But hey, the money's in there, and the money's in there to help us survive these times. So the same way I did it, any of you that have your corporations, subchapter S's, C's, sole proprietorships, you name it, just follow the protocols. It's everything here is on this page. And if you file everything properly, it's going to work. That's what it's meant to do. And, this slide that Angie made for us, I'm going to recap it really quick, although, the message is right there. Stay positive. Remember who you are and what you do. No computer, no program is ever going to replace human interactivity. Impossible. Okay. Yeah. There's apps, there's programs, there's videos people can follow, but a video is not going to correct form. A video is not going to motivate. A video is not going to hold you accountable to meeting with us, the personal trainers, to train these clients. Okay, so let's remember these great bullet points that Angie has given us out here, and let's make it happen. How do I train my clients? This is what I've been being asked for the last 3 weeks. Emails, phone calls, clubs that I do private personal consulting with, big major health clubs around the country that bring me on to, for advice. Years of doing this gives you a little bit of knowledge that's sought for, by major organizations, and I love being able to provide my feedback when I'm called upon. And this has been the question. And my answer, when I'm asked that is, what do you mean? How do you train your clients? You build a routine, the client, you get on FaceTime, you tell the client to get on FaceTime, and you just do it. And the feedback's been, well, okay, that sounds simple, but it's not that simple. Our trainers are just freaking out and they don't know how to do it. Why? Because the client doesn't have equipment at home. And I've heard a million excuses, class. And it all boils down to this. We've got to get fancy with technology. I'm okay with technology. I'm not the most savviest with technology. I'm still, and right now I'm having to learn even more because I know I'm going to have to get in front of Facebook Live. I know I'm going to have to get on Instagram Live. I know I'm going to have to do a lot of things that as, normal daily run of my end of the business, I generally don't do. But we have to do it, guys. And this is what it's all about, technology. So let's talk a little bit about platforms. The platform that I'm using here today, obviously, is Zoom Meeting. I love Zoom Meeting. I was introduced to it a couple of years ago. I've had great success with it. It's never gone out on me. It's never given me, a lot of glitches. When you have a glitch, it's generally your Wi-Fi. It's not the application. Last week, when I was recording this live for all of you, when I was out on the gym floor with the phone, the Wi-Fi went in and out and there was a glitch, but it wasn't the app, it's Wi-Fi and speed. And, I've got the highest speed here in my office, but there you go, unless I'm directly wired up into the wall, like, my computer that I'm at right now is, there's going to be Wi-Fi glitches and you miss little gaps. So what I did after we got done with our presentation last week, I basically recorded myself right back out there where I was with the whole thing. It's on Vimeo. It'll be, passed along to all of you with this presentation. That way you can see this presentation, cover anything you missed, and also have that workout that I gave out there, as a recording that you can see over and over again. But in simplicity, pick whatever platform works best for you and that your client also digs it. If your client hates an iPhone and hates, FaceTime, for example, because it's an Apple app and they have an Android, then guess what? Hey, you have a FaceTime, you can't make them have a FaceTime. I'm just throwing out, possible conflicts out there that the trainers seem to be having with clients. I like to ask the client, and let's just say our client right now is Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones, what is your favorite type of app where if, I want to get with you on video that I can train you from my house and you're in your house? That's the best way to do it. That way we already know what the client likes. If they have no preference, boom, it gives us more power. We get to choose then whatever we want, but we've got to be open to anything. Client relationship tips. This has been another great common question out there. What do we charge? Some town hall meetings at club industry have indicated that we should be charging the same because it's still a personable one-on-one timed session that you are, with that client. We talked a little bit about that, me and Angie, and we both agreed that it should be less, and this is an example, $10 a session. Example, right here, in my office, we've opened up, the availability for anybody that wants to go through virtual training with us for $15 for a 30-minute session. That's just, the price locally and in the community that we looked at was proper, and that's what we're doing. Haven't done a lot of that lately because it's not really what we do, but, we've got gym equipment here. We've got a lot of people out there that are looking for a professional avenue to continue to train at home. And if their trainer isn't able to do it, then they're going to look for, alternative sources. And we've gone ahead and satisfied that little gap. So, charge a little bit. Like Angie said on here, on that little bullet down here that I'm going to circle with my, and I'll backtrack here really quick with my cursor, invest in them now. They will remember what you did and they will invest in you later, 100% guaranteed. Okay. Email clients. Part of what I'm going to discuss very, very shortly as we go through this presentation is building a client's workout, whatever you're going to have them do virtually 1 day before, 2 days before, and email it to them. Let them see what they're doing. Let them know what equipment or what home, products they can use for equipment they will need so they can be prepared. Text messages, emailing, words of encouragement, maybe get a little group going of your clients where every day somebody can share something positive. And that's how we do it. Okay, everybody? Now, before we get to the nitty gritty of building the workout, I always like to cover programming basics. Why? We tend to forget the basics. And these are the facts of life right here. Teach function first and foremost. What do we do daily? We sit, stand, rotate, carry, speed up and slow down, which is the accelerate, decelerate. Stand, we've got to focus on increasing your client's mobility, and we've got to enhance their stability and balance. These got to be the cardinal, commandments here. Why? Because many of the clients that we're going to train with virtual training may not have, the regular common gym equipment that we are used to training them on if we're going to train them at home. So, if we're training them at home, the workout has to be focused around function first and foremost. And that means work on the activities of daily living. Of course, add resistance, regress, progress with whatever the client is able to provide us with as, hey, I've got this and that at home, but we've got to get away from, hey, it's chest day and back day and leg day and all of what generally is common to do in the gym, okay? And that's where we really got to look at. My next slide here is, well, what is your workout going to be with Mrs. Jones? Well, how many times a week is Mrs. Jones coming to work out with you on your virtual program that we're, discussing, is the way that we're going to have to move forward with this industry right now. How many times is she going to commit to logging in, signing in, and working out with you for that session during that 7-day week? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. The answer's right there. That's going to determine what you do. Mrs. Jones is only able to connect with you once or twice a week. You've got to go full body. There's no other thought process here. There's no, I'm doing bicep curls and shoulder laterals for, no. We've got to hit full body. And full body means we're pressing, which is, chest, shoulder. We're pulling, which is posterior chain, all the back musculature. And we're squatting. We're sitting, standing, we're lunging, and we're doing everything for the lower body. I don't have time to do all the other little tiny muscle groups if my client is only coming in once or twice a week. Goal. When we look at goal, you know, that's what we're going to use other than the workout selection, the speed, how heavy we can make it, which is also going to be dependent on the vehicle equipment. How many reps? What's the desired heart rate do we want to keep, that we want to keep our clients in? And then ultimately, yeah, we've got to know what equipment the client has or what they don't have. And if they don't, we really, really need to improvise. So my goal, you know, as the weeks progress through here is to get back on with more of these webinars and start bringing in partners. You know, we've got a lot of partners in this industry. We've got a lot of trainers out there that have great fitness products that you like to work with. So I'm going to show you some of my favorites. We're going to recommend, you know, how to work these. We're going to make relationships with companies and get, you know, NFPT specific promo codes so that all of you can take advantage of these, you know, and start learning, you know, what can I start learning how to work with that's going to be very easy for my client to have at home, that when we're doing this virtual training, it's going to really add value and it's going to help me train them. You know, that's the bottom line. That was a big conversation I was having the other day. You know, this is going to really be a shocker for a lot of trainers that are only used to going to the gym and working with dumbbells, bars, plates, and machines. You know, if you haven't stepped outside that box and you don't know how to work with suspension products and elastic bands and sandbags and, you know, kettlebells and medicine balls and all those cool toys we have out there, you know, this is the time to make yourself better at all that and start adding those tools to the toolbox. If we go next on this slide, everybody, we're going to keep going now to the checklist. You know, what checklist am I recommending to you, are we recommending to you that you start with, you know, before you even start your first session? One, know what the client has. Two, if they don't, start looking at what they have inside the house. You're going to probably have to be on a FaceTime with them as they walk around the house so you can, so you can get creative. What meeting interface are you going to use? Again, we said that that's mostly what the client is going to let us know they like to use, and we're going to adapt. Then we got to look at internet. How reliable is that internet? You don't want to, you know, get on a video call with somebody and the internet's going so slow that they're frozen on the other end of the line and you're trying to explain the workout. So we really got to look at all those details. If we keep looking at checklist ABCs, what's your presentation? And what do I mean by presentation? Exactly what I'm doing right now. Do I look organized? Do I look clean? Does the background look organized, or is everything here disheveled? Absolutely not, because we have to portray a specific image. No matter where we're at, we're mentors, we're training people, we're giving them advice. No matter whether we're meeting in the gym or if they're watching us through a camera, you know, we've got to have our area professional looking, because it's psychologically motivating for a client to see that. Okay, is your lighting proper? Is it too dark? Is it too bright? You know, ask the client, you know, how do I look on the other end, you know, of this presentation for you? You know, can I do something on my end to make the picture clear, better, or you know, easier to, you know, deal with? Where are we going to put the phone? Where are we going to put the tablet? A lot of chats came in on that. Where do I recommend that my client place their phone? I don't know, on the floor, on a table. You know, I have a little table myself outside that when I'm not using the tripod, I kind of just put the phone there. They saw a lot of cool things these days. Even somebody in the chat mentioned that Walmart has like this little thing that you can put right around your neck, and they can just hold the phone there. So there's a million things. Amazon, Walmart, you know, some place to put the phone really is the least of the worries on here. 8, have you done a test run? What's a test run? Set up a Zoom meeting, a FaceTime meeting, you know, WhatsApp message, video meeting with a friend, with a loved one. Tell them, hey, let me train you today. Let me see how this goes. You know, help me out with this. See how it is. Have them record you. Look at yourself later and iron out the kinks. There's always going to be a kink. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'll tell you what, I always have a kink. There's very, very few times when I just start off, you know, right from scratch with something and, oh, I got through this and there wasn't a kink. Before I sat here and did this, I recorded myself doing this. I ironed out the kinks. Maybe it's a word. that you say over and over again that, you know, you hear yourself talking later and you're like, you know what? I said that word just like one too many times. I need to cut that word out. Little things like that is what I'm talking about. Number 9, do you have a professional way to send clients their workouts? When we started this presentation, I briefly said, when we're going to do virtual training, one of the key elements is let's get the workout written. Let's get it to the client the day before so that they can be prepared. And, you know, other than, you know, bringing up the Zoom platform, this is what I want to spend a couple of minutes on right here, everybody, because this is what we've really been working on with XFIT for the last 6 or 7 months. I've been directly dealing with XFIT Etienne, who was with us on the live presentation last week. Of course, he's not on me with me today. So I'll recap what we said. Let me bring this live slide over here of the XFIT platform. This is a live website here. And this is the specific page right up here. Don't just go to xfit. myxfit.com, because you're not going to get this page. This page is specific for NFPT, for us. And it says it right here, exclusive pricing for NFPT member during COVID-19. You're not going to get these prices or this breakdown on any other page. Now, what's most important about this relationship is that XFIT was so generous to work with us on allowing a 30-day free trial when it is generally only a 7-day free trial, you know, and we've got a great relationship going on. So one of the reasons that I want to show everybody this program is so that you can see the value and the huge benefit of using it. So everything on this slide is, you know, simply for all of you to read. That's fine. Software, boom, how it works and all that good stuff. I need to show you how I use it. I need to show you how it works. And then we're going to come back to this question and answer. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to bring right back over my live internet. I'm going to go to my page on XFIT, which is simply the login page. I mean, if I click here, this is what you're going to see if you go on there for the first time. And it's going to ask you, what are you? So let me click on one of these just so I can show you what the system's going to do. I'm a customer, bam, 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 just has to create your, you receive, I have not received an email yet. It's, you know, it's going to run you through a couple of questions. My little cursor up there is going around because I'm sure other things need to come up on this page. But again, I don't want to sit here and take time. So let me just backtrack out of here. Yeah, I'm having slow internet problems, but in short, when you go to myxfit.com, you're going to be asked to either sign up or log in. And if you don't have a password and if you're not a member, it's going to give you a 7-day free trial. So don't go to this page, everybody. Go to the page that I have given you on the PowerPoint, which is this one here. And if you go one slide back from the last slide, it's right here. And I'm circling it. x.fit/webinar-NFPT. That is the website that you guys need to go to get the special that we were able to arrange for everybody. Now, what's the special? I'm sure somebody out there is saying, "Oh, wow, this is a, you know, possibly a sales pitch." Guys, it's a way for us to get better, and it's free for 30 days. So let me show you how I log in. I'm going to show you how we're going to build a workout. That's globalfit.com. And this is my interface right here. There's my name up on the top. If I go to my programs, I'll show you that, you know, there's a couple of programs that I've written in there. COVID-19 practice. This is the one we wrote last week on that live event. So let's look at it really quick. And, you know, what I want to do, I want to go and build it again for all of you right now, because this is probably one of the most important parts of what we're going to do. So programs, if I click on programs, let's say you have a client that you're going to train tomorrow and you need to design their workout. You go to programs, you hit create. Let's give this another practice name. Let's just give it COVID-19 second practice. Sorry. Second practice. So once you've got the name on there, you can go ahead and put all this stuff in the fields that it's asking you. I'm going to fast forward through all this, and I'm just going to go straight to save and next. So when we go to save and next, it'll bring us to the next page, and we keep filling out data. So hitting save and next, what do we have here? Let's create a session. Next field they want, let's pick a day of the week. Let's just pick Wednesday. Actually, let's pick Friday. We didn't name it, but we can name it. You can Friday, let's call it Friday workout. Save. And let's build the program that we built earlier. What did we do on that first exercise? We did a get up. So the way that you start getting these exercises in here, I type the name of the exercise if I know it. Most exercises have a pretty common name that we can, that we can all refer up. And there's a lot of get ups in here. They can get harder, they can get easier. Some are loaded, some are not loaded. I went with the first one because I wanted to show everybody a body weight workout that the client doesn't need anything but their body to do at home, which is a great workout. I mean, run yourselves through 4, 5, or 6 circuits, which means every exercise done back to back to back without rest of this workout, and let me know how you feel the next morning. Guaranteed, you're gonna feel muscles aching, you're gonna feel recovery, you're gonna have burned calories, and that heart rate is going to get up with the way that this workout is designed. Once we've got the exercise that we're gonna do in there, we can edit it, we can add some notes in there. The way that I like editing it is in Classic Builder. I can add a column, which is notes, and I can just write to the client. Let's do 12 reps on each side. Yes, I have my rep counter up here, but this makes it a little bit more specific, so I went ahead and added that. What's the next exercise that I have in this routine? It's a mountain climber. So what do we do up here? Mountain climber. And look at all the mountain climbers that came out. This was the one that we went through. So let's add this to the second exercise I want my client to do. And let's add some notes. Note that I'm going to add on here in the column, I'll pick notes, is perform for minute. Save. So we're doing specific instructions. Squats. There we are. Body weight squat. Let's add some notes to there. What did we say we wanted Mrs. Jones to do with the squat, which is what I demonstrated and what you'll see me doing shortly on the video? We wanted the descent to be real slow. Okay, so let's go perform reps, 12 reps with a 5-second negative. Negative is the slang of what we call in the gym for the lowering of most of the movement. So if we're doing a bicep curl, it's the lowering. If we're doing that squat, it's the lowering. Now, in the video, you're also going to see me say, Mrs. Jones, let's add another little 2-second pause at the bottom. And those are the things that as personal trainers, we can have a lot of fun with. Once we see they're doing, the movements properly, we can start adding other stuff in there. Next exercise that I had on there is going to be a hip extension. And the hip extension, we chose the one where the client had their arms right overhead. Reason for that, it's making it a little bit harder because with the hands at the side, they have a little bit of stability. And we gave the instruction, which is what you'll see me doing a little bit in the video, to hold each one at the top for 10 seconds. So perform 12 reps and hold at top for 10 seconds. And we save. Okay, we're down to the last 2 exercises. Knee side plank with a little bit of a leg raise so we can get a little bit of abduction workout there. So let's go right here with this one. Let's add it. We're going to go 12 reps, here it's just simply 12 reps. So we'll just stick the number 12 in there, save. And from here, we're going to go to the crunch. Go to fashion crunch. This one's pretty classic of all. And what are we going to do for the crunches? We will perform for 1 minute. So we've got to add a column, which is a note, and now something that I mentioned when we were doing this workout last week on the floor with the technical issue, some of you may have missed it, but it's on the video that has already been recorded as part of this presentation that should be accessible to all of you, is that if we have a client that has lower back problems, Dr. Stuart McGill has identified that performing the crunch in this fashion, and I'll go ahead and I'll repeat that when I'm out there physically doing it on the video that we did already for this segment, puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the lower back. And they actually discovered that if you straighten the feet out, flatten them, that position diminishes the load. So for the safety and care of the lower back, you know, we're going to recommend that if somebody already has issues with the lower back or is predisposed to having back issues, or they're getting later in their years, to extend the legs fully to take those huge compressive forces off of the lumbar spine. And that's pretty much all we do here. We hit save, we hit next, we publish it, and then once we publish it, we can download it, we can print it. I love printing in color. That way, you know, if you're going to physically give it to somebody, it looks good. And if you send it to them in the form of a PDF, when they download and print, of course, it's going to look that much better. So we just downloaded it. It's right here. And that's, you know, in short, a great way to use this XFIT platform and the way I use it daily to write programs, to write some of the manuals that we have coming up now that Angie will be launching this year. Got a couple of manuals coming out, suspension exercise. We've got certified virtual trainer coming out. We've got a lot of stuff coming out, and this is what I use. You know, when I'm writing programs and when I'm writing our new manuals, when I'm consulting for companies and they're asking me for workouts that their trainers can use, this is what I use, team. And if I'm using it and I'm being very successful using it, I'm sure all of you are going to have a lot of success with this, and your clients are going to love it. So let's get to some of these questions that we've had since we started this presentation. And some of these questions were actually sent in during the registration process. How much of the workout do you participate in while you're doing a virtual session with a client? Very little. You don't want to be, you know, sitting there doing the whole workout, because then it's taken away from you being able to watch them do the workout and coach, which is correct the back, Mrs. Jones. Remember, your foot's got to be a little bit more forward. Let's make sure your neck is facing the right way. We demonstrate the movement, 1, 2, or 3 reps, and we have them do it. How much should you charge? Again, we discussed that earlier. Charge a percentage of what you would charge. That's my response, and the way that many of us feel. Charge the same thing that you would charge, 50% of it. Okay, if you're seeing somebody and you're charging them, I don't know, $40, $50 an hour, consider charging them $25, maybe, for a virtual session. If you consider the COVID-19 factor now you got to throw in a little bit more of a deeper discount in there, obviously, because nobody's making any money. Greater majority of the population is jobless right now, or has very, very limited income coming in. What about liability? Will my insurance cover in-home training? Absolutely. It's part of what we do. You're training a client, something happens, it's part of what we get covered for, okay? How do you get new clients? I remember last week on this presentation, I brought one of our instructors in, Omar, and he gave us great tips on the way he's been able to be successful. And it all boils down to one thing: social media. Exposing yourself. Show what you do, show the value it brings to the greater, you know, majority of the population, and have them reach out to you. It works. Should we do virtual training when this is all over? Absolutely. I agree 100% that virtual training is going to become, you know, a modern day personal training process, in addition to the one-on-one physical personal training. And I strongly believe that it's got to be at a little bit of a lower rate. Makes sense. There's less travel. There's no gas. You can do it from wherever. you know, and we're making it happen that way. What are your thoughts about live streaming versus recording? We answered that, and my response was live beats a recording any day. People can ask questions, you know, they feel catered to, and they feel part of a community versus just, you know, somebody at home watching a video. Can I do this for yoga? Can I do this for group classes? Absolutely. The platforms that you're going to use for a group class are going to be very similar to what I'm using here, more of a Zoom, because more people can get on. I mean, Facebook Live, you know, does it for a lot of people too, but do you want people that are not necessarily paying you to get a, you know, a class complimentary? I mean, every now and then that never hurts. It's promoting, it's branding, but not the norm, okay? So yeah, absolutely. And for any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. Let me go, you know, right back to that last page. Just look at that last house at nfpt.com/personal-trainer-business. And, you know, whatever we can continue to help you with, that's what we are here to do. So